Good afternoon again. This is Dr. Bryson with another video for Criminology for Glenville State University, fall of the year 2022. In this brief video, we're going to talk about broken windows theory. Sometimes it's called broken windows policing. Now, James Q. Wilson has done a lot of work on policing. There's a book that he has called Varieties of Police Behavior. And he is generally considered to be a fairly conservative writer. Now, the reading that you all had for this class, yes, I'm a native West Virginian, so I say you all, but the writing that you all had was by James Q. Wilson and George L. Kelling, called Broken Windows, the Police and Neighborhood Safety. Now, this appeared in 1982 in a magazine called The Atlantic Monthly. It appeared actually in the month that I turned 18 years old. So isn't that wonderful? So this is a 40-year-old concept, or it was this past year. All right. There are a couple of sentences I want to point out, and they are on page 545 of your textbook, Classics of Criminology. And remember, this is the 4th edition. So they say, this is the paragraph that begins about midway on the page. Second, at the community level, disorder and crime are usually inextricably linked, a kind of developmental sequence. So now remember, disorder is not crime. It's things that are not orderly, but not necessarily crime. And so what they are saying is that disorder and crime seem to always be linked. So they're advocating for this broken windows approach. Now, here's what they say. We suggest that untended behavior also leads to the breakdown of community controls. Now, it's important to remember the social control theory that you've already read about, to remember the social disorganization theory that at this point you've already read about, because what they're saying is if we do not tend to disorder, then social controls break down and crime occurs. So the best thing for police to do is to prevent crime. And the best way to do that is to prevent disorder. The best way to do that is to police minor things that are disorderly. So disorderly conduct is going to be strongly policed. This is also why police will do things like stop people for cracked taillights, things like that, because it's part of broken windows policing. Now, interesting, in Philadelphia, just this year, actually, the Philadelphia City Council passed an ordinance that city police are not permitted to enforce certain traffic laws, like a broken out tail light, a registration that is overdue, unless something more major results in a stop. Now, West Virginia used to have something similar to that with the seatbelt law. Now, a police officer can stop you for because you're not wearing a seatbelt. But there was a time where you could only get a seatbelt ticket if you were stopped legitimately for another reason, such as speeding. So it's one of those things that says you cannot use your discretion and stop anybody for these lower level offenses. But you can add those lower level offenses, you can tack them onto higher level offenses. These are the highest level offenses that you can actually perform a stop and address. This is one way that Philadelphia is trying to resolve the conflicts over the Terry frisk, or what we know today as stop and frisk. It's a way of trying to deal with racism in police. because the neighborhoods that have the most disorder, where there are going to be the most stops for these smaller level things, are actually going to be poor neighborhoods. And poor neighborhoods currently, statistically, are predominantly, statistically, the non-majority culture, peoples of color. So it's an attempt to try to rectify that. Now, when Philadelphia passed that law, that city ordinance, the president of the police union in Philadelphia said that crime's going to run rampant in Philadelphia. I have not seen any statistic that the crime rates have increased in Philadelphia as a result of this city ordinance. That's something to think about. Broken windows policing. If we don't fix the broken windows, the neighborhood gets in more disorder and more crime will occur. That's how broken windows got its name. We'll see you next video.